Hi everybody, welcome to your Moon in Taurus reading. Let me have a seat. There we go. We're going to be taking a look at the waning crescent moon in Taurus, which will be around from Friday, May 27th, until around Sunday, May 29th. So, I'm going to be doing an intuitive reading of the energies that are in the air, but before I get into that, I do want to call your attention to the cards that actually wanted to come through. So I literally sifted through the deck and pulled out whichever cards wanted to make themselves known. And I have to be honest, as I laying the first as I finished laying the first row, I went to lay the second and I realized that I didn't even choose these cards here. So Spirit kind of slipped them in, so we'll take a look. And as you guys know, I've told you this before, if you watch my moon readings, I'm not a trained astrologer. I read energy, and so I pick up on the energy. So if some of you are budding, look at this card already jumping up. If some of you are budding astrologers or you know what's up, you may actually know why some of these energies are calling themselves to this table, but I will be reading them as the messages come through in the way that they need to be read. Cool. Alrighties. All right, so let's jump in. So first of all, as you guys know, we have the waning crescent moon in Taurus. So Taurus, you guys, all my Taurus people, you're very fixed. And I say that I have a Taurus moon. So remember, even though you may have some placements in Taurus, or even if you don't, or if this is not a signed reading, this is literally, we're experiencing the energies coming from the moon as it's been flavored by the constellation of Taurus, which it just happens to be transiting. So that's how it is. So we kind of get to get a little bit of the Taurus juice sprinkled upon us, all right? So let me tune in and see what's going on. What cards would like to explain themselves first? Definitely at this time, I'm getting a very, very strong feeling, and this has been going on throughout the month of May in general, of release. Now, it almost feels like, hey, we're always releasing every day, Jonelle. Every month it's another release. Now we're doing another release. Are we ever not releasing? Well, yeah, I guess. I guess so. But to be fair, we have to thank Spirit when we get these opportunities, because just because there are a lot of points for release does not mean that people are taking them. So you know that person you were supposed to release like 8 cycles ago? Well, now's the chance again. I do feel energetically that right now people are fed up. They're ready. So there's an energy of being just ready to let stuff go. I also feel some scorpionic energies here. So whatever's happening in the cosmos, I feel some scorpionic energies at play here. And I feel that that is kind of helping a lot of people to close the door on a lot of these shenanigans that they've been putting themselves through and allowing themselves to be through. Now, you guys know we did have the moon in Scorpio not too long ago. And there are also other influences going on. Also, I'm reading for the people watching. So some of you may actually have some scorpionic placements that may be aspected by some of the things that are going on here, including the moon in Taurus. So that could be why I'm feeling this flavor. But whatever it is, when we deal with scorpionic energies, we're in the basement, so to speak. So if you play your hand right with the energies of Scorpio, then you use it to inform you about what it's time to let go of, and then you allow it to walk itself right out the door instead of holding on to things. Now, speaking of holding on to things, Taurus. Taurus energies, you guys, and I say you guys, me, you know, when I feel Taurus energy, sometimes it's this desire to like hold on and grasp on and keep, right? And so notice how we have the cord cutting card here, and chaos or creation. And fertility, by the way, that one came out as well. This is all about allowing yourself to be just tire of something, to let it go. And by letting it go, you're allowing for more to come in. More of what, Jonelle? Well, that's what has been happening in the month of May. You've been being asked to really focus on what it is that you would like to pull into your experience. Imagine if you've had this bucket of just dirty water after mopping and the bucket's there, and you're like, oh, I'm tired of having this dirty water, because this is also the bucket that I drink water from. Don't ask, I don't know. What are you doing? What are you doing out there? And Spirit's like, hey, wouldn't you like to have some clean water? You're like, yeah, hello. Well, let's empty that bucket. You're like, wait a minute. Now, why we gotta go there? Let's stop a second. Do we need to empty the bucket before we can get some new fresh water in? They're like, yeah, you do. Because you know why? You can pour more water in there, but guess what? It's going to take longer to actually clean out that dirty water. And on top of that, it's going to overflow and it's going to be all weird. And so it's better to just chuck the water altogether than ask. This is the fertility place and the creation space. Ask for what it is that you'd like, because once you have an empty bucket, the universe is just dying to fill it. But the thing about it is that the universe will fill it with the same thing that was in there before, unless you change the script. So that's also where we are. Speaking of script, you're being asked to change your perspective, because your perspective is what is informing the universe of what you want. It's not you saying, dear universe, I would like to have A, B, C, D, E. You know, you could say that and the universe is like, yeah, thanks, we got it. But then right after, it hears an echo from you saying, no, we don't want A, B, C, D, and E. We want more of F. We want some P. We want some L's, and let me get a W. You know, and you're like, you're not even aware sometimes. So the whole idea about May has been about getting to a place where you are releasing, creating that space, calling upon Spirit to help you out, coming up with a decision about what it is that you would like to see manifest for you, and that's right, taking the action steps that are necessary to bring that in. A major point that I feel like I've just been repeating over and over again in the daily messages and in these readings, and I'm so sorry, is that you have to be clear about the fact that your actions directly relate to what it is that you're bringing in. If you haven't had that pounded home yet, please go ahead and check out my week 4 reading for the month of May 2022. It's in there. And it pretty much can be summed up like this. You say you want that thing, but your actions will either, this one action that you're about to do in the now moment will either move you along the path of that thing or take you further away from that thing. And when you're doing something that takes you further away, you're not doing something that takes you closer to it. So you see what I mean? They really want you to get to a point where you're being very clear about what it is that you're doing, and that you know that even if you have a reason why you're quote unquote taking that step away from your path, it's still a step away. You can have a really great reason. Yeah, do you. But it still remains a step away. It's either you're moving towards it or away from it. And sometimes we do things that take us, to a few steps back. But guess what? You recommit to your path, you get back on it, and you keep moving forward. But we do have to be careful, because every now and then a step that we take may be just so bad that you just lose time. You were warned and you end up making a decision that maybe 6 years later you were on that roller coaster of that relationship, or stuck in a job that you've now committed to, right? So anyway, not to drone on about it, but really at this time it would behoove us all to really be as flexible as we can in allowing certain things to be removed from our life. And when I say things, I mean energies, people, places, things, situations, ideas, right? Allowing ourselves to be flexible enough by changing our position and perspective and being open to that, so that we could release, thereby making more room for what it is that we would like to bring in. Now, I noticed that the Virgo card came out here, and this is what I would like you to take away from that. They would like us to really put some pen to paper this time. They would like us to have as detailed a plan as possible. Sometimes having a detailed plan is really great in the beginning. It doesn't mean that you are locking yourself into this. You can have a plan and still remain flexible. And I feel that that will be the best place to go at this time. Now, you guys know that these moon cycles, these moon phases only last about 3 days. I know sometimes it can seem like 4 days because it just depends on the timing and how it goes, but they last about 2 to, a rough 4 days. But these energies are still in the air. And so even though I'm saying this stuff about the energies now, please know that it will extend for many of us also, especially once we start engaging in it. The things that Spirit is presenting to us will extend beyond the 29th. Is it the 29th? Yes, the 29th, when the moon turns into Gemini. All right, now let's see what these cards are, because they slipped these ones in. I did keep seeing the Sun in Leo come up, and I was like, no, and they slipped it in anyway. Inspired, alternate reality, celestial, created Sun. Now, if that doesn't tie in with exactly what we were just saying, I don't know what does. It's about manifesting, right? So be strong with these Taurus energies. You don't have to be a Taurus or have placements, but be strong with these, but be flexible. Where does the strength come in? The strength comes in your commitment to being open, to being flexible. It comes into your commitment to being open enough to be inspired. It comes into your commitment to being open and willing enough to try a different reality, to move down a path that you didn't consider. And in order to be able to and be willing to move down a path that you didn't consider, you have to pull yourself out from the future that you saw for yourself. In other words, you have to deprogram yourself from how you programmed yourself into a future time. All you do when you program yourself into the future, quote unquote, is that you lock yourself in. So instead, you can have these loose goals like, wow, I would really love to have this experience, right? So you see how the language is open. But I'm committed in the present moment to taking the steps forward to reach that experience that I'd like. But if along the way of my now moments, I have a change that brings me to a different kind of desire, then I'm going to allow myself to be open to that. And I love this celestial created, because that shows me that these energies that are coming in right now, if you play your cards right, pun intended, then you really have a really great chance of staying and or getting into alignment with that which your soul has destined for you, okay? Now, remember, the month of May has been all about getting into alignment. You're in alignment thanks to the beautiful 2 eclipses that we had that really pushed us around and put us back onto our paths. But our choices, again, will either serve to continue us along that path that is celestial created, or it will take us away from it. And so you want to keep that in mind. The Sun here is actually coming up, and intuitively, I'm getting that it's a nod to the ego. So one of the things that they would really like you to watch, in addition to your rigidity / flexibility, right, your openness to change, is ego. And part of the reason why people get stuck in certain plans or certain ideas or certain cultures or subcultures or identities, ooh, the big I word, is because of ego. Oh my God, what will they think if I did this? What would they think if I quit my job? What would they think if, who's they? You know, the way I feel is if they're not sharing your pillow at night, what are we talking about, right? If they're not paying your bills, well, where are we at? And even if they are sharing your pillow at night, then there's still a responsibility for that connection to be open enough for you to still explore yourself and to be in alignment with that which is in your highest interests. And sometimes that changes along the way, right? And so I would ask you to watch the ego, because the ego is very attracted and attached to the identity. And our identities are often changing because guess what? We're changing. But when we don't allow our identities to shift and our ways of being to accommodate the shift, then we start getting into a very stuck state of mind. And the guides, they're so cute, they're so sweet. They're literally saying that what we do most of the time is fight against the state of mind stuckness. And that I've never had them say that before. So let's turn to them and say, thanks guys, and oopsies. So they do so much for us, guys. But if you can imagine that if they're saying that of all the things we do, we spend the vast majority, wow, okay, my bad, because I know I'm guilty, the vast majority of our time trying to push you out of your comfort zone. The comfort zone is an extension of your stuck state of mind. Wow. And so we really need to work on that. And on behalf of all of the incarnated beings watching, we will. See, guys, I spoke for you. I spoke for you. They're so cute. They're showing this. Aw, them hugging us. Oh, God bless. Right? So, yeah, let's really try to really work in this flexibility. And flexibility means getting to a point in our life where we can be, they're so sweet. They're like, tell them about what you're doing. Well, I'm not going to tell you about what I'm doing, but I'm going to tell you about the mindset that I'm really trying to cultivate, which is to be open. So if they say, hey, we want to do this, I'm going to take a little bit of a side eye. God bless, not getting too side eye with them because, I don't want to do too much. But I'm going to be skeptical. I'm going to be critical. I'm going to, think about it. But at the same time, I'm of the mindset that like, okay, why not? Or, okay, what would it mean if I followed this path that you're saying? What would it mean to say yes, right? I know it sounds weird to hear, because we always hear about that on TV. Just follow your yes. Say yes to everything. I'm saying yes to everything today. It's like, ma'am, calm down. But I have to tell you, they did put me onto that saying yes. And they didn't say it like that, but it just started happening. And I was like, oh my God. I had miraculous things to the point where I'm now living a life that is like 180 to the life I was living just back in January. And if we can't call that a miracle, I don't really know what is. I don't know what is. It's up there with wine and water and all that, okay, for me. And so we have to shake up, allow ourselves to be shaken up enough. Allow ourselves to be malleable, and ourselves meaning these personalities, these identities, which are all fake, because look, when I look at your energy field, I'm like, actually, your higher self does not have this personality per se that you're donning this lifetime, but, right? So long story short, don't get too attached. As Buddha is quoted as saying, right? Non-attachment. Now, I do see this second house here. Taurus is the sign associated with the second house in the natal chart, right? But what I'm getting from it, and please excuse me, the family next door and their dog has now come out to play outside. And so, hi, have a nice day. But anyway, what you want to take away from this here is about kind of dwelling on the self-worth part, right? Keeping in mind the self-worth part, keeping in mind the transience of things, because Taurus, I've met Taurians who are either, it's one of the other, they're either very cheap or they're super spendthrift. Like, I'm struggling to find somebody in between there. So people with Taurus placements, but that, again, you don't have to have a Taurus placement to be feeling this energy, right? But the whole point is, this is about bringing yourself into balance, loving yourself, finding your way. Now, I did notice that these two cards came out. What are they? King of Cups. I love that, but it wants to turn. Okay. All right, we got you. Okay, thank you. And the Temperance. The King of Cups, I love this in the reverse, but the energy intuitively that's coming through, and I love this, is like bowing. It's like the energy. This is your chance, guys, to really say, hey, usually I'm the one who holds the cup. I fill my cup, but now I release that so that my cup may be filled by, I guess now you want to put that in. What is it for you? For some people, it's the Christ consciousness. For some people, it's God. Some people, it's light. It's source energy. It really is just whatever it is for you. Higher self. But this is a great energy because I just finished talking to you about how the energies right now are really about supporting that flexibility, getting out of that rigid stance, allowing yourself the freedom of identity and thoughts about your future and your, just everything, so that you can step into something that's given unto you by the divine. Oh, thank you. Thank you for that. They just finished that for me. So look at this. What do you need to release? Now, I'm definitely getting some Gemini energies. Right now we know that Mercury wanted to come out as well. Mercury is in retrograde. But I'm getting these two cards together. The third house, right? Collectively, thank you guys, they're putting that out there, collectively with this, what do you need to release? We're in a waning moon, but we are, which is associated with release, right? But we are definitely in a time of release. All of the cards are pointing to that. But at the same time, going back to what we're getting here, not only are you releasing, but you are allowing yourself to be steadfast in holding your vision. And that looks like committing to, number one, having a vision, but being open to having a change. And number two, to making the effort to have that vision seen through. Now, how do you make the effort? Well, this goes back to all of the energy readings that I've been doing recently. It's about taking the action steps that are in alignment with that vision. Now, if you find yourself in a place where you're like, but I can't tell if this action step is actually helping me or not because I'm having trouble discerning, that's completely understandable. But that may be an indication that maybe there may be a shift in perspective that may be needed, right? So what you can do is you can speak to your guides, your higher self. Now you may say, Jay, practically, how do I do that? Well, listen, this is what I do. I want to say fix it and forget it, right? This is the commercials. Come on, guys. Basically, what I do is I realize, oh my God, I don't know what to do. Guides, that's my guide's voice, like, guides. And then they probably just scatter in the house because they're like, oh no, she's calling again. I'm just kidding. But like, guides, I really love your help on this. I see that I'm at a choice point right here, and both of the options could really go either way. I don't know. Should I stay or should I go? Should I take this job or not? Because I can make a case for both as to how they would both be serving my future. Well, we understand that you can't see around the corner sometimes, and that's why you call on us. That's their answer, right? I can't see around the corner. I can't see 10 years down the line. But if there's something I'm missing about what I can control, I'm asking you right now to please present it to me over the next few days, all right? And so that's how you ask. Thank you, guides, for helping to direct me in ways, with the stuff I can't see, but I feel like I'm not seeing clearly all of the things that I can see and can control. So please, I ask for your help in bringing that to my attention, and really make the good faith effort to stay open and to listen. All right? Now, I am not going to lie. I'm seeing this Four of Coins here, that Four of Pentacles, which is all about holding on to something, right? But look what it's falling upon. The Inspiration card. So again, and Spirit chose these cards right there. Look at that. Hold your vision. It's the same thing. Hold on to your vision. What you don't want to hold on to is staying stuck in the vision that you've created, because visions are still in need of refinement. They're still in need of tweaking, right? They're still in need of building, and so you want to allow that in. Now, I noticed the 9th house card here, but what I'm looking at more specifically is the word explore. So I explore, making yourself open, right? Allowing yourself to stay open to having the options shown to you. Sometimes we just want to make a decision. Sometimes we just want someone to tell us what the decision should be to do it. But sometimes when you ask your guides for help and assistance, you have to remember that what they do is they bring you options. You have to make the decision, you know? And you take a practical approach, here we go, to, you know, looking at each and determining the yeses or nos, the pros and cons, and then saying, thank you guys, thank you for choices A, P, X, and W, but I think I'm going to narrow it down to, you know, these three. And then of those three, you continue to do your prayer, you continue to collect information, and eventually it will come to you. So this is also, this time frame is also about learning how to take a practical approach through process of elimination, through exploring your options, and through taking the driver's seat, learning how to make the best decisions, okay? So wow, that's a lot. And again, even though this is just looking at the moon as it's going to be transiting for the next few days, it's important to realize that these energies are reflecting patterns that will be in the air for quite some time, okay? So, yeah, gosh, I could go on, but I think I'm going to leave it here. If you enjoyed this reading, or if you enjoyed me, hi, please go ahead and hit the thumbs up button. If you're on YouTube and if you're on Instagram, go ahead and hit the heart. Ooh, every time you hit a heart, it gives me a hug. Oh my God, I love hugs. So go ahead and do that. And if you're interested in exploring yourself with me, go ahead and check the Etsy link. I do offer intuitive counseling, which is live via Zoom. So a lot of you would like to know which one are the Zoom readings. It's the quote-unquote intuitive counseling, because we do it all. And I also do various readings and all. Well, actually I do whatever. So just if you're interested and you feel called, Etsy is the link to go to. All right, don't forget to check out the weekly reading. I also did just post the May activations. It was time today, so I shot the May activations. And so we did some activations, clearing, and all of that good stuff. And that's for you. All right. Mwah. Until next time, God bless you. Bye.